All right, welcome everyone. So we're gonna be starting in. Yeah, I think we're gonna wait just a couple of minutes before we actually start. So it says 5 minutes, but I think we're going to have to start a bit earlier today. right, welcome everyone. So happy to see there's the god damn it. Happy to see that you're all here. Today we are going to start off by looking at BTC USD on Bitstamp as always. So I want to this is going to be a more chill stream where I take a look at Bitcoin as always. We take a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and I want to take a look at a couple of altcoins, and also I want to do my Forex scan, and I want to talk a little bit about my Forex trading strategy. I've been here at my desktop about an hour now before the stream, and I've been writing up some thoughts and you know, some ideas on this piece of paper. I like to I'm working on a new strategy and setup for Forex, so I like to get all my thoughts on paper and kind of get it all organized. So I'm gonna go through that. Quite simple, but it's effective. So let's go through that at the end of the stream. I'm thinking this is gonna be somewhere between 1 and 2 hours long. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat, and if you want me to chart anything for you, just type it out in the chat. And it would be great if somebody can confirm that the audio quality and the video quality is good before I actually start the BTC analysis. Nobody's typing anything, so hopefully, all right, everything's good, perfect. All right, welcome everyone. Let's see, who do I have here? Alright, so let's start off by taking a look at BTC USD on Bitstamp. So we're going to take a look at the weekly, and we are going to ask ourselves one question when taking a look at the weekly, because we have the weekly close coming up in 6 hours. So we have to ask ourselves, where does the weekly have to close for us to be bullish, and where does it have to close for us to be bearish? And honestly, I think the best way to watch this is the best way to look at this is to watch the daily range that I got drawn here. So as you can see, we have a quite clear range here on the daily, and price is really, you know, respecting the range EQ. And when drawing my ranges, I really do care a lot about the range EQ. Most of the time I put more weight on the EQ area compared to the range high and range low. I like for price to really have decent reactions to the area around range EQ, and you can kind of draw a zone here. So just like horizontal support and resistances, when drawing ranges, it's all about areas and zones instead of exact levels, right? You can kind of mark out an area like this, and if the range EQ is properly placed, it should come in right in the middle. So the range EQ is going to be like the equilibrium of this area around the range EQ, and same goes for range high, right? Got the range high here, you select these candle closes and maybe these candle closes up here, so almost in the middle of that area, right? And range low, kind of draw it like this, right? Something like that, or even down here. Yeah, I would probably use this wick here and these candle closes here, because you have this area being confluent with these wicks here. So you can kind of see how it's all about giving price some room to work these levels, right? And you can kind of see how price is bouncing off the range EQ now, and we never really got any follow through with this bounce here, so it's looking quite weak, right? And if we actually lose this range EQ area, it's going to look very weak, right? And if we add the moving averages here, we can clearly see that actually, you know what, let's change the 55 to 50. Sometime I like to watch the 52, and you can kind of see how it bounced off the 50 here. Some people like to use the 50 and the 20. I like to use the 21 and the 55, but sometimes it's nice to look at the 52 to get an idea of what people are looking at. But I like to give it some more room. I like to use 50. I do think that the bounces of the 55, sorry, I like to use the 55, that's what I'm trying to say. And the bounces of the 55 is usually pretty strong. So you can kind of see how we lost the 21 EMA on a daily, and you can see how that's a pretty... Let me adjust the microphone here. You can pretty clearly see how that's not a good thing, right? Because the 21 EMA on a daily, this yellow one, has kept price up inside this range, above range EQ, and as soon as we broke down the 21 EMA on a daily, started becoming a bit more bearish, right? And if we lose range EQ, I do anticipate a range to the daily 55 EMA. But I mean, if we lose range EQ, then range low area down here will definitely be in play. And depending on how long that actually takes, it's let's do a quick comparison here. So for the daily 200 simple to move from here to here, it took 5 days. If price stays in this general area above the 200 EMA, it's going to take it about you know, 3 to 5 days, probably 4 to 5 days to reach range low, and that's going to add some great confidence to the range low. That's going to add some probability of a quite decent bounce down in this area, and especially if the 200 simple, this white one, is going to move up around the same area as the 200 EMA at range low, and that can very well happen, but it's obviously going to slope up a bit slower, so it might take a day or two extra for this one to actually reach range low. But if it does before price does, I think that the bounce will be even greater, and that's when I think that this range will most likely hold, and we can reclaim range EQ again for a possible move above 10k, this range high area, and that's when I think we will most likely hit the 10.5k area above, which is this high time frame red box resistance here. And I've explained this to you guys over and over again, but I'm going to explain it again because it's so important. This is the area where the weekly trend will have a chance to reverse into a bullish trend. So right now the weekly trend is down because we have lower lows and lower highs. I guess you could call these equal highs and lower lows, but still the weekly is, unless you start seeing higher highs and higher lows, the weekly will be down. So the weekly trend is down, and we are losing range EQ on the daily. And if you look at this 4-hour trend that I got drawn here, on the lower time frames, we have already lost range EQ on this range, confluent with the daily 21 EMA. The 4-hour, I mean, the 4-hour is, yeah, I mean, it's hard to really get a grip of Bitcoin's price action right now. Obviously, this move here and the fact that we had a bearish retest of the range EQ on this 4-hour range is obviously a bearish thing. But the fact that we are holding range EQ on this bigger daily range is a, you know, bullish thing. But if we lose range EQ on this one, it will mean that we most likely lose range low on this one, and that's when I think it's going to become dangerous for Bitcoin, because that's also when we run the risk of, you know, heading down to range low. And it's critical for Bitcoin to really hold range low, because if we see this type of move, we are going to see a break in market structure, right? The market structure right now is bullish because we are getting higher lows, and with this one pump here we had a higher high. This is actually now a lower high, and if we go down here for a swing low, that's going to be lower highs and lower lows, a break in market structure, a bearish break in market structure. So I mean, I'm sorry guys, but like I want to be bullish on Bitcoin. I really do want to be bullish on Bitcoin. I'm bullish on Bitcoin for fundamental reasons, right? But for technical reasons, I can't really be bullish because we are in a weekly downtrend. The daily is looking like it wants to break down of this range. So as you might understand, I'm not interested in taking any long-term positions on Bitcoin. And if you care about, you know, high time frame structures and market structures, maybe it's not a beautiful, perfect idea to actually get in and along on this one, because even if you get in and along on a reclaim of 21 EMA daily, which is not a bad idea, like it's not a terrible idea, because obviously every time you reclaim the 21 EMA daily, you see a pretty strong move here, bounce, reclaim. Every time you reclaim the 21 EMA daily, the market is showing some strength, and investors will most likely want to join the trend, right? I'm getting a message here. Just the 20 EMA, the 20 EMA and the 21 EMA on daily is something a lot of people are watching. So if we reclaim that area, we'll most likely see a move up, and that's the bullish, like the low time frame to medium time frame bullish thing I could see happening for Bitcoin. Is if we reclaim this range EQ, next will be a range high. But like you're seeing right now, we're only ranging, right? On the lower time frames, we're ranging in this area, and on the daily we're ranging in this area. So this is just a range right now, and I mean, this could be distribution, right? Just like we had up here, we had higher lows and higher highs. We had a break in market structure. We started seeing lower highs and lower lows, and it's, you know, we could very well see the same type of structure with higher highs and higher highs and higher lows. We are now seeing a lower high, and we might see a lower low down here. That would be the same type of break in market structure here, and we're obviously are going to head lower. And how low? Well, I mean, I'm just going to take it one level at a time, and looking at this chart right here, the levels I'm watching is pretty clear here, right? It's pretty clear, and it should be pretty obvious, right? This is the range low on the daily range that I've showed you here, and it's also confluent with the 200 EMA, the 200 simple, and the 21 EMA on the weekly up here, and the 55 EMA on the weekly. So it's just a lot of confluence between horizontal support and resistances and moving averages, both the simple moving average and the exponential moving averages. So there's a lot of market participants that are going to look for a possible long down in this area. I'm not going to long that area. I'm going to wait for a bounce. I'm going to wait for a break in market structure on the lower time frames, and hopefully that's going to translate in over to the higher time frames. What I'd like to call myself a patient trader, because I've made so many bad mistakes in my life, right? and in trading by being impulsive. So I've kind of learned from So I kind of learned from a lot of my mistakes, both in trading and in life, and I'm a very impulsive person. I like to take. I don't like to, but that's just my personality, and it was a real struggle in the beginning for me to realize that I needed to really change my whole approach if I wanted to become a successful trader. So I went from trading on like the 50-minute and then the 1 hour scalping, and I decided to focus on the daily time frame. And instead of waiting for 1 hour closes, I started waiting for at least a 4 hour open and close above or below a level. I added that as a rule to my trading, and later I started waiting for daily open and closes, and it's really what's up, Vapor Wizard, and thank you Don Callis and everyone. And so man, sometimes I feel like my ADD is really kicking in when I'm trying to read the comments and figure out what the fuck I'm saying. Because I forgot what I was saying. All right, daily open and closes. So let me give you an example of why it's so damn important to be patient, right? Well, here's a pretty good example, right? So looking at the 1 hour here, let's remove all the drawing tools here. 1 hour. So you see this pretty clear level right here. Get this range higher here, right? Yeah, 4 hour. All right, so here's an example of why it's important to be patient, right? So we get this move, right? All right, so we get this move, and you're like, holy fuck, right? This is, we're going to the moon, right? I mean, if you see this type of price action, obviously you're gonna get very bullish. You're breaking range high to the upside. I mean, who wouldn't want to long Bitcoin when it's looking like this? I mean, come on, guys, like, who would not want to long Bitcoin? Like, I would want to, but I can't because I have rules. And this is a good example of why waiting for the daily open and close would be a good idea compared to waiting for open and closes on the lower time frame. So let's say I want to wait for a 4 hour open and close. All right, so here we go. That's the 4 hour open and close. All right, so we're getting a 4 hour open and close above range EQ. That's my signal to enter. All right, so I let's say I just market buy this one, right? Obviously that's not a good idea, but for this example I'm just going to market buy current price. All right, so we got the daily open and close above. I'm super bullish, right? And where's my stop loss going to be? Like, I'm going to place it in a quite obvious level, where it's like below these swing highs and below this structure right here. So let's just place it right on this structure right here for a 4% loss, and our take profit is going to be at the next trouble area, the first trouble area on the higher time frames, which should be this level right here, and that's a terrible R, so that's not a good idea. Let's just make it higher. Let's just, fuck it. Let's say this one is going to 20k. So yeah, take profit at 20k. Beautiful. Not every day you get a 7R trade, but this might be our chance to do that right now. So, all right. Got the daily for that, the 4 hour open and close above our entry signal, right? And what happens? Well, this happens. We enter, we're super bullish, and yeah, that happens. So I waited for a 4 hour open and close, and prices fucked me over, got stopped out. Pure, whale manipulation or whatever you want to call it. This is a classical bar pattern. Happens all the time, and that's why you want to wait for a daily open close. These usually do not happen when you're waiting for that daily open close, because if you were waiting for a daily open close above, this is what the chart would look like, right? A classical daily fake out, right? So very normal with Bitcoin. I can show you a couple of more examples here, right? Here's a here's a good level. Let's see, we're testing resistance right there, we're testing that area right there, and we're testing, let's see, yeah, so here's a pretty good example, right? We got these levels to the left here. So Got the 4-hour open and close here. Got the 4-hour open and close here. Just beautiful. That could actually work out pretty good. But just to give you guys an example here, how's that looking on a daily? On the daily, come on, man, load. Alright, so for some reason TradingView is slow. Happens. See how's this chart working better? Alright. Yeah, I don't know what happened here. So this is how that area looks on the daily. Obviously a daily fake out. Daily fake out. Daily fake out here too. So yeah, that's why I like to, when trading Bitcoin, especially on like swing trades or just getting good entries, I like to note that the market has accepted the levels, and you want to see like rounded retests. You want like high time frame open and closes above certain resistances, right? And like, why do you want a rounded retest? Is this a rounded retest? I mean, technically it is a rounded retest, but it's not a beautiful one. Let me show you an example of a rounded retest. Let's see. This is a rounded retest. Well, no, it's not. That's actually a very bad example. Yeah, never mind. It's what you want to see is like, you want to see space between the breakout and a retest. And I think I've explained this quite a few times, but it's I might do a. I'm working on like a technical analysis, educational materials for you guys. So like use the basics of horizontal support and resistance and risk management and all that fun stuff that I'm using on trading. I think we're done with Bitcoin. I feel like we have pretty much. As you guys can see, I'm not interested in doing any TA on the 1 hour or 4 hour because we're still in this range, and honestly, I'm not interested in creating this range for Bitcoin. I mean, there's so many other interesting opportunities right now in the market, especially for alts and Forex. So I figured I'm gonna go through a couple of interesting altcoins that I'm looking to enter or have entered. I'm actually only in one position right now, and that's Algo, and I'm going to show you guys my thoughts on this one. This is a very, very small risk trade, and I'm going to explain to you why it's a low risk. I mean, it's a high risk trade, and I'm risking very small amount on this one because I think it's just a very risky trade. But looking at the daily here for Algo, we had this very nice bounce of the 21 EMA on a daily, confluent with this support area right here. And we're getting a W pattern here on the daily, with the neckline being this area right here. And if the daily stays above here, in about 2 days, we will have the 21 EMA crossing the 55 EMA to the upside. So that's definitely a bullish cross between the exponentials. So obviously, the obvious trade on this one is to wait for this area to break to the upside, wait for a daily open and close above to not get faked out like you got here. And that's the patient trader in me talking, right? The trade I'm in right now is not really the patient trading, the patient trader trading. It's more like a maybe a little bit impulsive move, but it's a anticipation of a breakout trade. And I've only risked like 0.25% on a move like this, daily open and close above, first retest. I could risk up to 2% on that trade, but this one is just 0.25%. So I'm gonna show you guys what my thoughts were on this entry. So first of all, I want to find Alright, so let's see if we can find the short RLC of this move first. From here up to here. Let's reverse the RLC. You can kind of see how we touch the short RLC here and here. Now let's see if we can find the RLC of this up move. So the low to the high. Notice how we touched the long RLC perfectly here. And let's add another RLC, a reload zone, with this move. From this low to this high. And you can see how the 618 is the one I'm interested in here. This level, right? And I like this level, the last high, pre-breakout. I'm gonna remove the reload zones here, but I just wanted to give you an idea of how I look at price on lower time frames to find a decent entry. And another thing I like to do is, in case this move would have been a daily fake out to these highs, I like to anticipate a move by using the RLC too. So let's use the low of this move here, like this. So we anticipate a move up to the highs up here. Now notice how perfectly the RLC comes in around that breakout area and this, general SR level, right? What I did on this one was I based the trade on the 1 hour. Now we're getting pretty bearish market structure on the 1 hour with this double top here, and we broke down here, bearish retest. What I did was actually I entered a very small position right here with a stop, I think below this swing low here, in anticipation of this. Yeah, definitely. Focusing on a 50-minute and a 1 hourly is very, very stressful, and that's why when actually doing that, I like to risk a very small amount just to, if I get stopped out, that's all right. It's worth the risk, because the risk on this one is actually very. The risk to reward on this one is very high if you enter down here, because the take profits would be. It would be in this area, up here, and all the way up here. So the risk to reward by longing this area here with a stop below this area is just pretty insane, right? You have 8R all the way up here, and if that's 25R, that's just pretty insane, right? So sometimes it's just worth taking those risks. And if you risk 0.25 and you have a 25 risk to reward ratio, that means you're going to increase your portfolio with 6% by risking only 0.25%. So that's just definitely worth the risk. And when I have that position, the reason why I want to enter down here with a small position is in case we actually break out of this area and price just continues to reclaim that area without touching this area. I'm still in a position in case we never get the retest. Because sometimes you never get the retest. And when that happens, it's very easy to get greedy and you start stressing and you want to enter as quickly as possible, right? And you end up market buying, or you're buying current price, and it's just going to retrace back to the area where you wanted to buy in the first place, and your risk to reward is just going to be very, very bad, and you end up with a trade that's maybe giving you less, maybe half of the profits that you wanted in the first place. So that's algo. That's my ideas on algo. Let's take a look at BAT. So unfortunately, you guys probably, like most of you, are probably in the bird nest, and you remember the trade that I posted on BAT. Unfortunately, we got stopped out, and honestly, I did not anticipate this wick, but we did wick down right into the RLC of this move, confluent with the 618 of this bigger bigger range right here, so it kind of made sense to actually bounce down there. And I did use a timed stop loss on 3 commas, but for some reason it took a bit longer. So that one got activated, unfortunately. But I still, I mean, I really like this setup. So if we get like a daily open and close above this area, I would repeat this setup, honestly. I think it's the potential on bad BTC for a longer term trade is just very, very good, because we have this weekly range, right? So if we reclaim range low here comfortably, whatever the word is, reclaim range low here, and I do think we are going to see in the long term a move to range EQ. I mean, just look at this structure right here. If it starts to perform well, it's most likely going to move to range EQ. So that's bad BTC. Now let's take a look at KMD BTC. Now this is a setup that I've shared with my with one of my private students. This one right here, and KMD is interesting because I think I shared this one in my altcoin update too on my channel. I think KMD is very interesting here because we have this strong up move. You know what? I'm just gonna have to mark out the RLC of this whole move just to get an idea, and I'll add the 50% too. Kind of makes sense, but I don't want to test that area. All right, so let's see. Go down to the hourly, and you can now see that we are testing a support area here, confluent with the RLC of this latest up move. So it makes a lot of sense to get a bounce down here. So if you want to take profit here at the last highs, that's going to be a good 2.2 R. But like what I want to see here now on the daily, problem with altcoins is they can move so quick. You can just miss out on some very good moves when waiting for a break in the market structure. But this is what I want to see, right? I want to see, like, here we have, you know, this uptrend, we get a breakdown, now we have a clear downtrend on the hourly. I want to see this move, right? I would enter here, stop loss below here. First take profit up here. The setup would look something like this, probably. Good 3-hour trade. Small little scalpish trade on KMD. Like normally when it moves 12%, I wouldn't really call it a scalp, but I mean on the hourly, I usually don't trade hourly, but it kind of makes sense. It does really make sense, and yeah, so that's something I'm watching. If we get a break in market structure here, breakout and a retest of the 618 Fibonacci level, the upper part of the RLC, I think this trade could really, you know, work wonders for your portfolio. XML, Stellar, XLM, BTC, we are now inside the RLC here, and I waited for a, you know, same type of thing as KMD here. So I wouldn't see bullish market structure inside the RLC. We got these double tops here. We haven't really gotten a breakout here, so I don't really trust this, but what I'd like to see here is a break in market structure by reclaiming these double tops here. So, you know, we got something like this, right? Stop would go below this one, and take profit would be up here. So something like this is what I'm watching. Right now, nothing, I mean, probably put it down here. Something like that for a 2.2 R. So that's something I'm watching, and if this is a bigger trade idea with a very good R. I mean, this one could work out too, but because if you look at the weekly, we have like no resistance until we come up and test, you know, this area. So if Stellar moves, it would be very, very nice to have a entry down in this area. And the way I like to trade is I use 3 commas. I enter everything, enter all the orders and everything, and use a trailing take profit. I use trailing stops and everything, and I never take full profits at my last take profit. I always let like 10 to 25% of my position run, and that's very important because you need to have bigger winners compared to your actual losers. Now let's take a look at Troy BTC. So we're actually getting, I'm kind of sensing that we'll be looking at these alts here, and they were looking very, very good earlier today, but they're not looking as good right now. So I'm thinking like, what's going on with Bitcoin, right? Are we going to see a strong move here? Are we going to break down here? Most likely yes, we are going to break down here because we keep testing the support area, and I mean support can only get tested as many times before it actually breaks down. I think we are going to get a breakdown here, and we are most likely going to test range low. If that happens, I guess alts will suffer quite a bit. And let's take a look at the BTC dominance chart. It's very important to check that one from time to time. And yeah, I mean it's going up. It's yeah, exactly. So what all right, I need to invest in MCO and KRO to hold to use a new exchange, not to trade. How would you evaluate a good entry? I'm gonna take those. MCO BTC. Take a look at the USDT2, KRO BTC. Alright, so crypto. What's the difference between MCO and CRO? I know exactly what MCO is, but is this like the crypto is what like something different with them too? I don't really get that. But yeah, we'll take a look at that one. But yeah, so the BTC dominance is actually on the 4 hours showing pretty, you know, a potential break in market structure here, and it's kind of looking like we want to break out here, right? And if we do, alts are going to suffer, so I would be careful with alts. I would wait for, like, if we get a reaction up here from the BTC dominance, I would definitely welcome a new altcoin window, but I need to be, and you should be, careful with alts right now. Like I'm in Algo BTC, and like honestly, I'm probably gonna get stopped out on this one. It's just, oh man, goddamn, it's not looking. I mean, it's not looking beautiful. But I mean, we're inside the RLC of this move, so I mean, it's all right, right? But I mean, it's if Bitcoin breaks down, and the BTC dominance breaks out, I think yeah, alts are going to suffer. So a lot of shit can happen around the weekly close, and that's in 5 hours. So yeah, if you're not in a position right now, you should probably not enter anything. All right. So I'm gonna take a look at those before I start the Forex stream. And if you guys have any charting requests or any questions at all, just feel free to ask me. Whatever, right? Because I mean, the reason why I'm doing this is to not only like trading is I mean, yeah, okay, so CHRBTC. Trading can be lonely at times, and definitely for me, this is a good way to, you know, get some of that social whatever interaction. That's and because human beings seem to need that or whatever. But also, like, I want to give you guys, like, I want to, like, I know when I began trading, I really helped me to see other traders trade, and I think my trading style and my trading systems are quite simple to understand. Hopefully it's useful. So I'm just gonna mark out a couple of RLCs here. Get an idea of what's going on with this one. Well, first of all, we don't have a lot of price data for this one, so it's very, very hard to short properly, especially when you're a trader looking at the high time frames like the daily. But I mean, looking at this first RLC that I got drawn out here, on this one I've also added the 50% fib level. It's not really a Fibonacci number, but it's a level that price likes to really react to. So can you give us an insight of what is RLC and how you use it? All right, so the thing is, like, I'm probably like every stream and webinar in the Burbness, I'm getting that question. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go through what the RLC is today, but I'm going to do a new video. I have a video on it, but it's not really good. It's pretty bad, actually. One of the first videos I made. I'm gonna do a new one where I explain exactly what it is, how I trade it, and how you draw it and everything. It's just gonna be a short 5 to 10 minute video, and I'm gonna go into details. So you can expect that to get released in the next coming days. But basically what it is just the long RLC is a place where you look for reversal to the upside, and the short RLC is where you look for reversal to the downside. The area between the 786 and the 618 Fibonacci level. The 618 is the I would say the area between the 618 and the 702 is the important area to watch. This level is more like a stop loss area for longs. Alright, so this one looking pretty interesting. I mean, it bounced off the 50% point here. It reclaimed the 21 minute daily. So what I'd like to see now is a break in market structure on the hourly for a potential long, and we're kind of getting that. We're seeing resistance area up here around this point. So what I would look for here is a 4-hour open and close above you know what, I'm not really sure about this one. Need to add this wick too, because it's kind of makes sense compared. I mean, if you look at this area and this here, kind of makes sense to use that one too. So 2 different ways to play this. I would like to see. I think the best way to play this would be, because this could be viewed as a W on the weekly. I mean the 4-hour. So I would like to see a 4-hour open and close above 390 to long this, honestly, for a move up to this area up here. So a 4-hour open and close above 390, long the first retest for a move up to, let's say 500, somewhere up in that region, at least 470. So that's what I'm looking on this one. Alright, so let's take a look at MCO BTC. So does it make sense to look at MCO BTC or MCO USDT for a investment like that one used to hold on an exchange? I think it makes sense to it depends on if you're a trader that's only, I mean, if you're only, this is funny. This is pretty cool. I mean, the 200 simple and the 200 EMA just came up on the chart because the price, the data isn't really, we don't have a lot of data, but perfectly bounced off it nonetheless. Just shows you the importance of these levels. Not really been on the chart for long, but I guess the MCO USD chart could be on another exchange too. Alright, so does it make sense to I mean, if you're gonna hold it, this is so honestly hard for me because I would never hold an altcoin for more than the duration of my trade, which is no more than a week usually. So see what we can find here. Let's see the low here and the high up here. All right, so I would most likely wait for this area to get reclaimed before I buy this one. Because if we reclaim that area complement with the 21 EMA and the 55 EMA, we're most likely, I mean, this one could be a low, right? This bounce of the 200 simple and the 200 EMA is was probably the low before more upside. And I mean, it's the way Bitcoin moves is going to dictate how this one moves, obviously. MCO BTC looking pretty good. I would wait for. I would probably wait for the 5,500 sats level to get reclaimed with the daily open and close above. Preferably, I want to see a daily open and close above the 21 EMA on a daily, this yellow one, for a position. Man, that's all right. CRO. Yeah, I can't short this. It's just, well, I mean, yeah, this is pretty clear actually. You have a double top, and you guys might know I like to watch the W patterns, and I like to watch, you know, for W pattern to break out, I would then long the first retest. This is a beautiful example of that one. Would have my stop low this level or this level. Now this is a perfect long setup, which means it's also a perfect short setup, right? So this is not looking very good unless we can reclaim, I would say, this area. So a 4-hour open and close above here, and to be safe, you need to get a 4-hour open and close above, let's say, just 0.12, right? CRO BTC. Have I checked this one? Yeah, I have. So this one is actually looking pretty good. I mean, the USDT pair is not looking too bearish, and especially not if you reclaim that level. And this one is not looking too bad either. I would wait for a reclaim of this level around 1,200 sats. Then we're good to go higher. Looks like we are good to go. Yeah, and this is also historic level, right? Yeah, it's looking quite good. Looking quite good, especially if we can reclaim 1,200 sats. Alright, so do we have any other altcoins we want to take a look at? I'm going to see. Do we have any other altcoins we want to take a look at? So I'm gonna use the market scanner in the Verbnest just to get a quick glance of how the market is looking. Let's see. So what I'm looking for on the market scanner is just points with everything green, right? Q-Link or Quick Link or whatever it is. QLC chain? I don't know what that is. I thought I knew. This is, well, that's a very nice rounded retest of this area right here. Well, not a perfect rounded retest, but still a pretty good reclaim of that area. Now we are fighting the 200 simple here and 200 EMA. So I'm gonna Go down into hourly here to see if we can get a possible entry here. The 4 hour. Well, I do really like this area as a potential entry, so I'm going to move this into my green list, and we are going to take a closer look at that one. Well, I'm going to take a closer look at it after the stream, probably. Vibe BTC daily. How's the daily looking? Well, very similar to QLC. We got the reclaim after 200 simple, confluent with this support area right here. That's actually looking pretty good too, so I'm gonna move that to the green list. Let's see, anything else? DNT, APPC, DNT I like. Yeah, so we already had the reclaim here. Go down to 4 hour. Nothing super clear on this one, honestly. I'm not liking that one. Alright, so what else do we have here? Blue cell. This one had a pretty nice breakout, so let's see, are we seeing anything on the weekly here? I mean the daily. Yes, we have a pretty strong level here. It's untested. I mean, yeah, it's probably get front run here, so the obvious setup I missed on that one. TNB, I have no idea what this is. Time New Bank. No, thank you. Oh. Alright, exactly the same on this one. We have a level here that I like. Well, I can't trade these low sets, it just feels wrong, so I'm just gonna ignore that one. TNT Pearl, Po, got Byte, I don't know, QSP, I like QSP, I've been trading that a lot, I've been scalping this one. So I like this one. Holy fuck me. Yeah. So obviously I did not get the alert for this one. I can't believe I've missed this one. It's a full beautiful breakout and rounded retest on the 4 hour. As you can see, I had this on my chart. I could have made some money on this one if you just follow this move up, that would be a almost 200% trade, 25 hour. Yeah, you know, fuck it. Let's just ignore that and move on. All right, so ADX BTC. Remember to set alerts. If you see something, just remember to mark it out and set alerts so that you don't miss that 200% move like I just did. So resistance up here, let's mark it out like that. I like that level, I like that level. So what I like to see here is, it's a pretty clear range here, right? Pretty clear range. I'd like to see a breakout, daily open close above, long the first retest, stop loss below the last swing low in the 4 hour, the hourly, or whatever. So green list, definitely. This looks ready for a strong move. Vabi, whatever it's called, Vabi. Oh yeah, I can't pronounce that. So this one has been moving very nicely recently, and we reclaimed this support right here. I was looking at the 4 hour. It's not looking very clear on the 4 hour, honestly, and on the daily, I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything super clear on this one, so I'm just gonna ignore that one. Like when I see a setup, it needs to be absolutely obvious because that's where the money is, right? So if I see something right away, like this one right here, it's just obvious, right? And why is it obvious, you might ask? Well, we get a breakout, a clear breakout today, and What are we looking for when we see a breakout? Well, we want to long the first retest on a rounded retest. Now, the best way to trade this would be to wait for a daily open close in case we get a daily fake out, and it's kind of looking like we are on the way to get a daily fake out. But I mean, if you want to risk a small percent, I think this could be a good play. Let's see. Stop loss would go below that area, hourly. Even have it below, yeah, should probably be below that area. And let's see, where do we have the RLC? This is probably the 50% retracement area. Where do we have the RLC? Let's see. Did I just rhyme? I think I did. And what do you know? Like, that's just fucking beautiful. This is what you want to see, right? Now, let's see, where do we have the weekly 21 EMA? All the way down here. Holy shit. And what do you know? God damn, this is a beautiful weekly W. CRX BTC. Yep, I'm gonna take a look at that one. This is a beautiful weekly W pattern. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this one. Fuck it. So when, like, I'm going against my rules, so I need to take very low risk. This is more like a, you know, fuck it, I want to get in on this trade because it's just such a beautiful rounded retest on the hourly and 4 hour. So I want to get in on this. I mean, look at the 4 hour 21 EMA right in here, the daily. I mean, it's just, oh god, it's too good not to tape because it's confluent with this resistance area. It's all, you know, all that. So where would I want to enter? Well, obviously the midpoint of the RLC is the better option on this one. Obviously, my camera just turned off. So I've ordered a new camera. Like, I really love this one. It's like it's cost me like $1,000 with everything, but it's like I have one focus because the autofocus is fucked up, and the focal length is like you can see my head and nothing more. So I've actually ordered a pretty nice webcam and a green screen, so I can like fake my whole background, and it's going to look like I'm in this awesome office with like a view of Central Park in the background and everything. And you guys will know that it's fake, but my new followers would think that I'm a like billionaire trader living in Manhattan or stuff like that. So that's the goals. All right, so 4 hour. I like this one. Like why wouldn't I like this one? Well, there's a good reason for not liking it, because it's probably a daily fake out. But you know what? I want to take this trade just because I'd like to get in the trade on stream. So let's see. I got 3 comments right here. I want to. Do I even have the Bitcoin on Binance to buy this? And I guess this is not on Binance margin. Let's see if it is. If it's on Binance margin, that would be great, but it's probably not. Do I have anything like to it? Let's see, rec. Yeah, it's not. So, you know what? Let's just keep our eyes on this one under the duration of the stream. And we're not going to buy this one. We're going to buy this one if we... So let's not be... Let's stay true to the rules. Let's not be impulsive. Let's just, if this one bounces on the first retest like that and just keeps going, fuck it, we'll just ignore it. But if we see this type of structure, move down, W, strong, we're definitely going to long this. If it happens on stream, that's beautiful. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably going to happen in a couple of hours. But I'm going to keep my eyes on this one, and we're going to set some alerts. So we are going to set an alert above this candle right here. And we're going to set an alert below here. So whatever happens on this one, we are going to get an alert, and hopefully that will happen on stream. And if that happens, I might have the time to actually buy buy some BTC because right now I don't think I haven't. No, I don't have any BTC on Binance right now. I only have USDT and some BTC in my margin account to trade alts on margin to limit my exposure to Bitcoin. All right, so let's take a look at. I'm just gonna quickly go through the market scanner list again. I'm gonna add this to the green list. Is this to the green list? Seller. We have a setup on seller. God damn it! I probably forgot to enter this one. Daily. It's I like this one, but I'm actually looking. No, I don't like this one. First of all, it's a low sad shitcoin. I don't like this one, and it's just not. I don't like these levels. Not looking appealing, and if it's not looking good, it's probably not good. I mean, Jay posted this call. I did agree to this call, but it's like I don't trade my emotions, but sometimes when I see a chart, it's just, yeah, I just get that feeling that it needs to be just beautiful. It's like the chart needs to tell me something, and it needs to tell me something, like tell me a story, and it needs to tell me a very clear. The chart needs to like paint a very clear picture of what's happening. And this one, for example, this one is just like you're giving a pen and paper to a 5-year-old. That's just nonsense. I don't like it. Link BTC. I'm going to take a look at that one. All right, so FET. No. EDO. Maybe you guys remember me sharing a. God damn, this one really ran away from me. Maybe you remember me sharing a chart on Discord. See if I can find it. I think I have it on Twitter. Let's see. So what I did was let me see if I can find it. I got EDO. I'm gonna search my Twitter for it. Yeah, here it is. All right, so here it is, right? This is chart that I shared, and if we go down into the, is it the 15-minute? Yeah, no, it's the hourly. So let's look at the hourly here. And yeah, what do you know? I remember watching this on stream, and I remember telling you guys like, it feels like I want to enter this, but I'm not gonna trade my feelings. What you might do in a situation like that, if you're really feeling the price action here, and like that, you're kind of looks like it wants to break out, but you're not a breakout trader, and you're not gonna buy resistance like this one is right here. What you could do is, well, first of all, you had some time to actually buy the breakout here, but looking at the 4-hour, you did not really have the time, right? Because it just fucking took off, right? What you could have done is buy a small position here, right? Buy a small position here, risk like 0.25%, like I'm doing an algo. Put your stop loss below here, or you could also do a breakout trade with like limit orders here. I'm not sure if you can do that on 3 commas or Binance. Kind of Forex, but I'm not sure if you can do that on crypto. But I mean, and you could have caught this whole move, right, with a trailing stop. That's almost 2x, and the risk to reward is pretty good. I mean, risk to reward on this one would be like with a trailing stop. You could have just, I mean, you could have just had your stop with every new swing low, and you would never have gotten stopped out unless you, like on up here, you could put your stop loss here and you get stopped out here. So that's going to be a 5R. So even if you, even if you risk 0.25, it's still going to be 1.25% of your portfolio as a win. And for me, that's just, if you take the risk of doing a 5R trade, that's just beautiful, right? But obviously you never know if it's going to move this high. So, but sometimes buying in anticipation of a breakout is not a terrible idea, unless your risk is a high percentage of your portfolio, because it's going to be, it's going to be very, very risky, right? BTC, right? This coin. Do we like this one? We're gonna ask ourselves, first of all, what is this? Like, whoa, what's all the fibs going on here? What's going on? Yeah, this is messy. Yeah, from a weekly perspective, I definitely like this one. We have reclaimed the 21 EMA in the weekly, so definitely like that. We're gonna have to add that to the green list. Red BTC. Alright, so here we have a resistance area. So everyone seems to be very, very bullish on BRD, and I'm not ready to be bullish just yet, because we have this. Saw some chart where some guy had a trend line on, and it kind of made a lot of sense to have it on the chart. So I'm gonna see, like, where is that trend line? Well, problem is I can't find it, right? I can't find a decent place to have my trend line on this one. Well, this kind of makes sense, right? But it's, no, man, I don't like it. It needs to be way cleaner than that. What I like to do instead is just ignore the trend lines and watch for a proper break in market structure. And this is a daily W, right? And we most likely have a moving averages confluent with this red box resistance. Yeah, we have the 55 EMA right in the middle of that one. We have reclaimed this 101 EMA. Have we reclaimed anything on the weekly? Nope. But on a daily, I really like this one. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to wait for a daily open and close above the red box resistance, long the first retest, stop loss somewhere below. Let's add that one. I like that one. Do we have anything else? One BTC. I feel like I really need to get in on my Forex planning, so I'm most likely going to end the crypto part pretty shortly. I do really like this resistance area on one, so I'm gonna add this one to the green list. It looks like alts are really gearing up for something spectacular here, but that's only if Bitcoin will let them. This could be the last run before the weekly close fuckery. Nulls BTC, like this one. Hopefully some of you followed me on this one. I did not follow myself on this one, but maybe some of you did. Congratulations if you did. Guess this is a pretty decent trade. But yeah, this one is interesting. Nulls, what am I seeing? We're seeing our RLC. I like that name. 200 simple, confluent with that area. We're seeing a local high here, local low of the 200 EMA. Breakout out of the 200 simple should take us up to this area. That's looking like a decent long opportunity. Let's see if we get another swing low on the 4-hour higher than this one on the daily for a better risk to reward ratio. Right, so anything else? Mana BTC. Looking good, but we missed the entry on that one. SNX BTC. Alright, so this one I like, this one I really like. We have the 200 simple here. Has it been retested? Has it been tested? That's the biggest question, right? Have we well, fuck, we kind of have. I'm not really liking these wicks right here. But it's a pretty interesting area for an entry. No, I'm going to ignore that one. I do not like these wicks here. Alright, so that's it. That's all the interesting altcoins on Binance right now that I can find. Now, let's go through the green list quickly, just to see if I got something I need to enter like right away. Right, Algo, looking okay. Bad BTC needs to reclaim that one, needs to reclaim this area, needs to reclaim red box resistance, needs to reclaim the 200 simple on a daily. KMD, we need to see bullish market structure here. We need to, on Excel, we need to reclaim 780. Troy BTC is looking decent. We did get this bounce off the neckline of the W. I like that. ULC. Can't really remember why I like this one. Yeah, well, no, too messy. Vibe BTC. No. ADX BTC. I like this one. Daily open close about that one. Perfect. Rec. So what were we looking at here? Well, we're looking at a buying the first retest would mean a very low risk, because it's a high risk of actually breaking down, because it could be a daily fake out. We want to see bullish market structure inside the RLC. So what I'm doing here, I'm just going through the list that I've added, and I want to see if I can rehearse my trading plan, because you always have to have a trading plan, right? So I'm just trying to remember what I was watching. Yeah, I do like that one. I'm not sure why, but I like it. BRD BTC, reclaim this one for move higher. 1 BTC, reclaim red box resistance for move higher. Nulls BTC, gonna wait for price action to develop. Maybe buy a first retest of this area if we get a daily open and close above 4K sets. RLC. Yeah, I like this one. Clean daily open and close above 5640 would be good for a possible trade on this one. Alright, so now we're done with the whole crypto market update. Let's take a look at the BTC quickly before we go over to the Forex market. This is going to be a long stream. Alright, so yeah, nothing has changed on Bitcoin. It's super boring. Still in range. Still in range. Right, 4 hour. Yeah, so quick recap of Bitcoin. Reclaim 21 EM in a daily, and we should see a move up to 10K. Break 10K to the upside, and I think 10K, 10.5K will break to the upside. So it's very, very important now for Bitcoin to move up. If we reclaim 21 EM in a daily, I would be bullish for a move up. Actually, a breakout of 10.5K. I think that's in the books if we continue this daily uptrend. It really feels like we need to break out shortly. I mean, with how the market, the world is looking right now, with how the market situation in like the world is upside down and everything's just fucked up, right? So this is what Bitcoin was made for. We're seeing like you guys are in crypto, you know why Bitcoin is important. So you probably you probably understand more than most people about the world, and it's just it's a pretty fucked up place we're living in, and the geopolitical landscape right now is pretty. I mean, it's a pretty dangerous world. The future could go. I mean, it could be very ugly. So Bitcoin, the technology behind Bitcoin is very much needed right now. Very, very, very much needed. This is could be our, it could be what we need to end the financial slavery, right? And end the, really take the power from the financial elite and kind of take back the power to yeah, I'm not gonna go into any details, but you can understand what I'm going with this. So with how the world is looking right now, if Bitcoin can break out here, if Bitcoin can actually break out and make newer highs and begin a weekly uptrend, and at the same time we see the dollar weakening, and we might see the S&P 500 go down, so we're gonna get a negative correlation between Bitcoin and the traditional markets. That's really going to be the beginning of this technical revolution, I think. Could be tomorrow, could be in 2 years, could be in 50 years, we don't know, but it's hopefully going to happen sometime. All right, so with that said, I'm going to take a look at the chart requests first. So we had 0x. So for me, this is quite simple, really. We need to see a clean daily open and close above this red box resistance for a move higher. Right now, we're not seeing that, so yeah. Clean daily open close above, which means a daily open and close above this red box resistance without any wicks touching the level below. That's what I'm looking for on 0x. Break this area to the downside, and we have a continuation to the downside. Link BTC, well, like, my analysis for Link BTC is it's probably going to go up, because it always does. I mean, Link haven't had a bearish market structure in forever, since it was listed on Binance in October 2017. The weekly trend is up. It's most likely going to continue to the upside. I mean, sure, we are seeing lower lows here, but it's just, I mean, buy Link, buy Link. I don't have any Link. I wish I had. I should probably buy some. So where would I buy some? Well, where do I want to buy Link? You know what? If we, yeah, I'm not interested in buying on the way down. I'm more interested in buying on the way up. And what I mean by that is I'm not buying weakness. So when price is trading lower, I'm not buying. I want to jump on a trend when it's actually reversing to the upside. Right now we're seeing, I mean, the weekly trend is we have a potential bearish market structure here with new lower highs, but we still got a very clear up, trend line up here with higher higher highs. But we have a potential break in market structure with lower highs, and this is supposed to be higher lows, not higher highs. Feels like I'm saying the words higher highs and higher lows and lower highs and lower lows so many times that it's just I'm getting confused. But if we make a new higher high on a daily, I will get interested in buying Link again. So break above the 45,000 area to 47,000 area, and I'm interested in a maybe even a long-term positional link. All right, so that's my thoughts on altcoins. Now, finally, let's take a look at Forex. I know some of you, like most of you, are probably interested in crypto, but like price action is you're welcome, man. You're welcome. Price action is the same on all price charts, so it's pretty much the same. So what I'm going to do now is I want to go through my strategy and my system in Forex. So let's go. First, we are going to start off by taking a look at, let's see. Euro GBP, right? Got Usd Cad. Got Euro versus the Australian dollar. We got, I'm going through a list I've got here. The New Zealand dollar versus Swiss here. Let's see. And a long idea on gold. All right, so first up is the euro versus the pound. I just have to move my. Give me a. Beautiful. All right, so Euro GBP. So we're obviously ranging right here. So I don't really have any proper plan for this one right now. But that's like my goal here is to actually create a plan, and with the creation of the plan, I'm going to go through why I like the idea and what I'm looking for in this idea. So trying to figure out what I'm watching here. Move everything. I remember seeing a chart on Twitter on this one, and it just made so much sense that I've decided to try to see if I can find something similar. And if I can find something similar and it makes sense for me, I want to go along with the idea. Now, what I'm doing when trying to find the range is I want to find the high of the big impulsive move, and that's going to be our range high. And I then want to make the chat pop up here. What happened here? Right, there we go. So this is going to be range high up here, and I'm going to post all of these charts in the Bermuda's trading community too. Got the range, we got the range high up here. I think this makes more sense actually to use that one. These candle closes kind of make sense too. That one to do like that one. So candle closes to candle closes. All right, so this looks good. I like this. All right, so this is the range that we're looking at now. I'm really liking Like, I'm really liking this level down here. This is really confident with, you know, this range low area, and the problem is that it's actually been tested quite a lot, but I do realize that if we get reacted up at range high, it's a good possibility to get a move down to, I mean, we're ranging right now, so we are quite possibly going to continue to range, right? So how would that trade look? I want to follow this trend down to range low. And down in this area, I might actually be interested in a long. But I'm not going to blindly buy this area. What I'm looking for is bullish divergences on the RSI and MACD. Now, to short this, you want to see a break in market structure, right? You know what? I'm really trying to make sense of this, but honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't know if this makes sense to my trading style and system, and it probably doesn't. So I'm gonna look at something else. I'm gonna look at USD Cad, because this really makes sense. Probably seen me do some research on this one in my other videos and my other live streams, and I'm going to show you why I really do like this one. So I measured the RLC using this low to this high. We are now inside the long RLC. We were getting signs of bullish divergences on the daily, with the RSI going from below 30 to above 30. So from oversold to above oversold, right? And that's a pretty good long opportunity, right? I was then looking at this pump here, and we saw that the RLC, the reload zone of this pump here, is confident with the higher time frame reload zone. Now we also have trend line here, but I'm not really liking that one. So my idea on this one, and I think yeah, so I've got some bids down here, right? Inside the midpoint of the RLC, confident with this RLC here. It's quite simple. Down here we started to see bullish divergences on the 4 hour, right? With the low and higher low, with price making lower lows. So price is making lower lows, and the RSI is making higher lows. So this kind of ties up my strategy pretty nicely. What I first look is I look for, I'm gonna type it out here. Just give me a minute. What I first look for is location, right? I look for the RLC. And inside the RLC, I want to find the RSI and MACD. Right, so location is RLC. I then look for RSI and MACD divergences, right? And I then look for a break in market structure, right? And also RSI should be oversold or overbought, right? So what do we have here? We have location, right? Location being the RLC. We have RSI and MACD bullish divergences on the 4-hour. RSI making higher lows and the MACD making higher lows, while price is making lower lows. That's bullish divergences, right? And the daily RSI is oversold. So we got, and what we're looking for now is a break in market structure, right? So the break in market structure would be this. This is the break in market structure. We have equal lows, go from lower lows and lower highs to equal lows, and we are now creating a higher low here. That's the break in market structure. And if we get the test of this area, that's just going to be such a beautiful, beautiful entry that I really, really do like to get my entry down there. What I'm working on too is to really get the best possible entry, which would be down in this area. So when, like, I'm trying to figure out what would be a safe entry when you, like, obviously as a price action trader, you want to trade the actual market structure and you want to get in on the trend when it's actually happening. Like if you look at the market structure here, it's quite obviously bearish and you get the breakout and it turns bullish. But I mean, you started seeing bullish divergences on a 4-hour. You know, let's see here, right? That's when you started seeing bullish divergences, and this continues all the way up here. Well, that's not really bullish divergence, but this is the last area where you had the bullish divergence. So I'm trying to figure out like how, like, would it be possible for me to get in down here? Would it make sense to actually just buy when the daily RSI is oversold and the 4-hour shows bullish divergences? Would it make sense to actually just blindly buy on this one? Obviously it would make a lot of sense. And where would the stop loss be? Because you're basically trying to time the bottom, and that's usually not a good idea, because it's usually means you are going to, you know, lose money. That's just how it is. That the win rate when trying to, you know, catch a falling knife is not really beautiful. So I always tell people, wait for confirmation. You always have to wait for confirmation, right? And the confirmation for me is a break in market structure. And looking at this, it's just, this is really the most obvious long area. So I really have to stick with this idea and do what's most obvious here. The thing is though that if you marked out this whole area as a potential, you know, potential support area, kind of obvious that we already tested that area here. We could just see a move like this, and if we do see a move like this, I'm looking at this trade. You have to adapt to price action. So if we do not see this move, I'm looking for a 4-hour open and close above this area. I would then look at this trade. You long, like for because if price actually moves out of the RLC, it has bounced inside the middle of the RLC, and you move outside of the RLC, and you would then kind of make sense if you get out of the RLC and you long the first retest of the 618, the upper part of the RLC, for a move like this. Stop loss would be below the swing low. Take profit would be up here at the breakout level. And we're also seeing this type of, I mean, I'm seeing some type of channel here, right? Or at least we have, I mean, This kind of makes sense too. But it's only had like 2 touches. This area up here makes a lot more sense, honestly. Something like that, right? Obviously not perfect, but I like this trend line. So I like the fact that this resistance area is close to the trend line, but I mean, could very well see a move up to, let's say, this horizontal here would be confluent with this trend line. So I mean, you could see a move like this, right? And that would bring this trade up to a 4R. So I really do think that's a decent R trade. So I would take some of my position off here and then just trail a stop upwards, because you might get a breakout like this. You want to have a trailing stop on that one. That's USD Cad. I've got orders on that one, obviously, because this one has, it's I've gone through this quite a lot of times. So another one I'm watching is never mind that one. Euro USD is something I'm really liking here. So this one kind of lines up with what I've been saying, right? Add the RLC here. We're inside the short RLC, right? We got very clear bearish divergences on the daily RSI here, which is just, I mean, and this kind of goes back to what I've been saying before, that I mean, this is just such a clear short setup, and if you were to blindly just buy the daily RSI divergences on Euro USD and USD Cad, I mean, come on, it's just you would gotten in on some really good moves, some good trades. But what I'm not in the business of trying to time the bottom and time the top, really. I want to find a break in market structure before I enter for extra high probability, and that's going to get you a much higher win rate, right? Because the high, it kind of makes sense, right? The higher confirmation you have, the higher the win rate. And I mean, look at this. I mean, the divergence on the 4-hour started all the way here, a low, lower low, and a lower low. Got a high low, higher low, and a higher low. So it's like get a pretty clear bearish divergence on the 4-hour and the MACD. That's a signal to go short, right? And now we have a pretty clear break in market structure by getting lower lows, lower highs and lower lows on the 4-hour chart, right? And I'm now looking to enter on a retest of this area for a move lower, and my stop I want to have above this area. I've actually tried to short this like 2 times before, but I've gotten stopped out, so I'm really patient now to really wait for the market structure break and the 4-hour open and close, which is this one, right? So take profit on this one. The take profit on this one is going to be the breakout level all the way down here. This is going to be your first take profit and second take profit. So it's going to be all the way down here at the daily breakout level. So yeah, I like that one. From a technical perspective, this really looks good. But from a fundamental perspective, I mean, there is a big chance that the dollar will continue to weaken. And in that case, I'm just going to enter this one and trail my stop down with a tight stop loss in case, you know, euro is going to outperform dollar again in the coming week. All right, so let's see, do we have anything on gold? Euro Cad, did I watch this one? Let's see, Euro Cad, do we have anything on this one? Not really. All right, so let's... This kind of makes sense as a rounded retest of range EQ on the daily. I like this one. So what I would like to see is a move up towards range high. So looking at the 4 hour here, I would like to see a reclaim of this area. And the trade would look something like this. So I'm going to add some alerts here. One here. And one here. And the last one for tonight is gold. This is actually a position I'm in, and I've shared this one with you guys in Bird Nest. So this is the gold trade that I'm in. It's not looking super good right now, honestly. And you know, for this area kind of makes sense, right? If you're not in this right now, I would wait for a breakout of this area. And I would long for a possible breakout out of range. I mean, all-time highs, right? So I would, I think that's a pretty decent entry, honestly. And if you look at the hourly, I mean, the stop loss level depends on where the actual swing low is on the hourly. But that's the gold trade I'm in right now, and I'm not going to exit that one until my stop loss or take profit gets hit. Alright, so that's my Forex scan right now. Could have done more, but honestly, streaming for 2 hours kind of takes... Alright. Going on. Yeah, what do you know? So this RLC most likely got front ran here, but I'm going to keep this idea open. Looking at the 4 hour here, we have pretty obvious level here that needs to get reclaimed for this to be bullish. Setup would look something like this. But I'm not really interested in that second setup. If we get reacted here by the red box, I'm still looking for a bounce inside the reload zone here. Alright, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining, everyone, and that's gonna be the last one. And yeah, thanks for joining, everyone, and I'm going to do live stream maybe tomorrow in the Bird Nest, a webinar. Probably something educational on some technical, like TA aspects, but it's not going to be as long as this one. Like my live streams on YouTube is going to be more chill, more personal, and more, you know, I'm really going to show you guys my trading style and how I trade and how I scan the market and all that fun stuff. All right, so I hope you guys are having a great Sunday, and I want to wish you a great end to your week, and let's really, you know, hopefully you guys have, you know, rested well and all that stuff, and you're ready for a new trading week next week. And I'm seeing a couple of interesting opportunities on alts and Forex, so I'm going to update you guys tomorrow on what I'm entering and what I'm looking to enter. Alright, so I feel like I'm getting a pretty sore throat now, so I gotta end the stream. Take care, guys. See you guys next time.